All right, my friends, today is October the 14th. It is Monday morning, a couple hours into the New York session. Let's see the market outlook and plans for the week ahead. All right, so we've had a pretty interesting start to the week. Let's go ahead and dive into everything and work our way from high time frame down to low time frame. So as far as I'm concerned with the macro on Bitcoin, the macro thesis has had zero changes to it. The whole idea of seeing trend continuation play out after the summertime chop was over. That's still very much intact. I actually love the idea that we sold off at the beginning of October. That was something that I had been discussing a lot in the Paragon group. The idea that we would be front running in September, sell off at the beginning of October into trend continuation. And that's what we're seeing right now. So trying to not get ahead of myself and get too optimistic and be blinded by my greed or anything. But it does seem that my plan that I've had for, almost a year now is materializing quite well. So yeah, I feel good about that. We've gotten one of our first kind of key structural shifts that I was looking for. So, as the range was developing, we all are aware it was pretty bearish until we got this first higher low. And I talked about last week, we really wanted to see 60K get defended, and that's where we're at right now. So the structure in this range actually looks pretty solid right now to continue to trade up to the upside and put in our next kind of higher high. I wouldn't necessarily say that you should be betting on this drive being the breakout. It absolutely could be. But generally speaking, breakout trading is low EV, in my experience. So I'd rather position on the opposite side of value and just wait until the breakout comes and just chill and not try to catch it, in real time. If you're interested in gaining access to the spaghetti template and learning how to properly utilize it, you should consider joining the Paragon group. Okay, so yeah, basically the Q4 thesis is locked in right now. We're, over the next kind of week or two, we're really going to see if that's going to play out for us, right? So if we see some bullish continuation into the end of October, then that's what we're looking for. We'll probably see more bullishness in November. If we start to get bonked down here really soon, which, I don't really think that it's that likely, but it's something you should always be prepared for, right? So have your levels or your, what kind of flow you're looking for, whatever worrying signs, have that predetermined now so that you're not caught flat-footed if things change, right? Because this is the kind of euphoria stage, right? Bitcoin's up 5% on the day. Everybody is printing money. Don't get caught, lost in the sauce of social media. So one of the main things that I'm looking for right now, which I kind of was just touching on, so this has been my main focus for, basically all this time. I'm waiting for that kind of legitimate impulse outside of the range. I've said this several times now on many streams and outlooks. Once we get this, or if we get this kind of move, which I think is just a matter of when, not will we, that's going to be the kind of risk on barometer, in my opinion, for people to just start flooding in and give us that, 2021 style of cycle that we got, or even the 2017, right? Where the people that don't really care about crypto, this is what's going to cause them to come in my opinion, right? The opportunity for them to make money on meme coins and stuff will be so legitimate if Bitcoin does a leg up into the mid 70s or low 80s. So that's really what I'm looking for as a trigger. If I see this would be a reason why I would go to just like fully low IQ, right? I would still try to be smart about how I manage my risk, but my aggressive positioning on the long side would just be 60 IQ trades, honestly. So that's pretty much it for the higher time frame, right? Overall, very, very happy with how things are developing. They definitely tested my patience many times over, but this is just, maybe honestly lesson time, right? Maybe this can be a good lesson, right? It's not easy to hold on to our high time frame theses because there's so much randomness, so much variance, so much going into whether it's going to play out or not for us. The market never lets you just like have your thesis and just chill, right? It never makes you sweat. So I held on to this and never was invalidated at any point from a thesis standpoint. Definitely invalidated my risk pretty early on, mostly in June. But yeah, we'll go ahead and digress from that. Overall, very, very happy with things. Medium time frame. A few different things we want to discuss here, right? First off, we want to go ahead and mention the compression, or the composite rather. We'll do compression next. The composite, right? This is now almost an 8-month composite structure. I do believe that this is probably the longest composite I've ever seen formed on Bitcoin. There's been instances where we have months, right? This was one of the longest previous ones. Was at the beginning of 2022, which was about 5 months. This one being almost 8 months now. I believe this is our largest composite we've ever had. So definitely interesting. But really does drive home that lesson around how this shit works, right? We can see very over and over again, value might shift up or down or compress or whatever, but the idea of how these values develop, it's pretty textbook. So really sear that into your brain and use that in the future. Okay, what else do we have on medium time frame, right? 64K battle was extremely important. I mentioned this on the stream last week and, you know, all the recent outlooks. This anchored VWAP from the beginning of the range has been one of my official barometers for how bullish or bearish we are. Getting above it doesn't really mean anything. It's about staying above it, right? We need to see, you know, price get above and stay above, and then maybe see this VWAP start to slope upwards, right? If we start to see that, that's basically a trigger for the breakout from, at least from this VWAPs, as far as the VWAP is concerned. Yeah, that's pretty much it, right? I don't really have too much else to say on medium time frame, just because, you know, the higher time frame and medium time frame stuff hasn't had changes, right? There might have been some recent structural shifts that made me a little bit more optimistic about stuff, but overall, I mean, these plans just don't change. And that's something I really am always trying to drive home when I'm doing education for you guys, right? My high time frame plans don't change that often. For people to be flip-flopping on their higher time frame plans all the time, it's seriously one of the worst things that people could do. It means that you're just never going to be on the right side of, you know, higher time frame momentum. So if you find yourself struggling in this chop with that flip-flopping, I just think that you should maybe try to take a step back and ask yourself what was making you think that way, right? Was it the fact that maybe we had, you know, this rejection off of this that made you bearish here or whatever, right? Go back and analyze that, and then kind of ask yourself, you know, think about it in the terms that I try to teach, right? What your position was probably invalidated a long time ago, right? Being bullish throughout this made no sense, right? But the thesis has always remained intact, and it's been a really important lesson that I've tried to drive home for you guys this year. Okay, so that's pretty much going to be it for the medium time frame. Obviously, I like Solana, right? This is, you know, essentially what my portfolio is weighted in, is Solana and Bitcoin, so big fan of this coin. Pepe looks really good to me overall. Very happy with Pepe. I think the structure has basically zero kind of complaints on it, so happy with that one. I think Pepe will probably, you know, maybe this is the drive where we flip ship. A few other coins, right? You know, I'm not in any of these coins, but I think BNB, Zero, like I kind of wish I was in Tau to have extra AI exposure. Maybe I'll bid a dip on Tau if I get one. For DeFi, I think like Aave and Uniswap are really good plays. And, you know, I think the cartel coin Mu will probably do well off the back of other cat coins doing well, right? Across the board, though, right now is the moment where you should be stocking spaghetti really closely, which is a good segue into the next conversation I wanted to have. What is my active trading looking like right now? So the most important active trading I'm going to be doing right now is running the Dolly. So if I get any opportunities to run the Dalai Lama setup, I think that we're right at the precipice where the Dalai Lama regime is about to come back full force. Essentially, where are we at? We're in a situation right now where it looks like the higher time frame plans are materializing. I'm positioned risk on from a portfolio standpoint. I even have, you know, perpetual positions that are risk on as well. So that's where I'm at. You know, I pivoted to being bullish around 60K. And then I, you know, retraced everything and then put more risk on, and now we're, you know, things are looking all right. Yeah, I mean, I haven't gone really far down the risk curve yet. I'm still keeping it relatively safe with the barbell portfolio and the memes. So that's probably where I'm gonna stay. Hopefully we get an opportunity to buy more stuff, but at the same time, I could totally see a world where we just don't really trade down that much. Because there's a lot of complacency and copium about these kind of moves, right? So a lot of people openly being bearish about it and stuff, and even if we're going to reject here, I just think that the expected value on going counter trend right now is just, or counter momentum, just doesn't make any sense. So TLDR, I'm very happy with how things are materializing. The market has really tested my patience over the past year, and I'm just happy with how everything's playing out. So good luck out there, and I will see you guys soon. Cheers.